Here is a Lasko clip fan. This is the Lasko Type 6-1 style MLCS. It says 0.2 amps. I don't know if these had a 4-digit model number. I suspect that they do. Tori, what was the 6-digit model number? This, I believe, is the last of the fans I got from him during the fan meet this year, or at least last that I'm filming. It might not necessarily come out in such sequential order, but this is I guess this is a product of the 90s. I quite like these. They were very quiet, very powerful. It was a good blade set. It's more or less the same blade design that was used on the 9-inch oscillators through the 70s through the 90s until the model 2009, which had a different blade set, and that came out in, I guess, sometime in the 90s. It's got the older Lasko flag logo, and the whole thing is in a very nice deep forest green color. It does have some typing and handwritten on the back. It says Lucinda's fan, and then the clip it says Lucinda's on the clip. And the clip is still in pretty good shape. The plastic, it's starting to have that brittle feel and sound to it, but it's still sturdy. The spring is still good. I don't see any signs of, well, there might be some signs of crackage right there, but for a 30-year-old piece of plastic that's under a considerable amount of force, even when closed, I'd say it's held up pretty good. It's got a keyhole for wall mount. It's a 2-speed model. It's got that same type of knob that's on the larger pedestal models. Fairly typical plastic rear guard, metal front guard. So that would mean that this, I believe, has to be older than 97. I think in 97 or 98 they went to all plastic guards, or at least that was the case with the 12-inch oscillator models and the 16-inch oscillator models. I'm not sure if it applied to these as well. I know the 2007 or is it 2007? I don't know, whatever that desk fan that Lasko makes today, that does have plastic rear and front guards, so maybe it does apply, I don't know. Anyways, we got the tilt adjustment here, which is extremely tight. I can't even get it to loosen. That might be one of those things that we just never mess with. Cord is non-polarized. No, it's polarized, it's not fused. This is pre-fuse freak show era. It's a black cord. It's a little disappointing that it's not green like the rest of the fan. I don't know how many other colors these came in. I'm pretty sure I've seen all black ones before, and there was probably a white one as well. I'm not sure what other colors, but this is a pretty cool color. I like this. I don't know if this is high hours, or I haven't even tested yet. I suspect it might be high hours, because usually when people write the name on the fan, that's a good indicator that it was used in a workplace. So I got the kilowatt all set up here. I'll plug this in, take that out, put that in. As far as the voltage goes, we have 118.3 the volts. It's a little low right now. And we're going to start off on low. Well, we do have a little bit of a balance issue here. This could be in better balance. That's actually quite out. But that's nothing unusual for a Lasko or Air King product. For whatever reason, the Lasko and Air King factory does not own, or at least does not use, a singular balanced mold to make any of the fans. So as far as performance goes, it's very quiet. It's definitely quieter than these little 6-inch fans typically are. And the performance is quite good. I'm going to switch off the ceiling fan here because I think it's interfering with it. There's still junk all over the floor, so I can't get across the room, but as far as I can go, which is about maybe 2 yards, I can still feel the air. It's not like gusting and blasting over here, but I can feel the airflow. That's pretty impressive. It's not bad. Certainly moves a lot more air than this one does. Power consumption, we have 0.16 the amps, 14.5 the watts, with a power factor of 0.76 the power factor, which actually is not bad. That's a little bit higher than I would have expected it to be. A lot of times these cheesy C-frame shaded pole motors have a very poor power factor. Alright, so that's the low. Let's go to the high. Which actually was not much different in speed at all. There's very little difference in speeds. On high, it's 0.19 the amps, 17.8 the watts, with a power factor of 0.75 the power factor. This is horribly out of balance. I'm going to have to balance before I use it. Really not a big change in performance between low and high. It's really impressively quiet. This is how these little 6-inch fans should be. I can still feel a considerable amount of air, good 5 feet back from it. That's a good little fan. Just a shame it's so out of balance, but that's fine, we can fix that. Real quiet if it wasn't for all that vibration. Even as it spins down, I can still feel the vibration. And it doesn't look like it's a clock issue. The blades seem like they're pretty well in clock. It's not perfect, but for a plastic blade set, that's pretty reasonable. So probably one blade is lighter or heavier than the others. We should be able to fix that by putting some hot glue inside the center of the hub against the blade that's lighter and get it balanced. Alright, so we'll have a doesn't really need to be cleaned too much. It's a little dusty, probably just from sitting, but this is definitely one of the units I want to use around the house. Hopefully we'll be able to get this cleaned and serviced before this year's cooling season expires, but I'm not sure. We're getting close. Only a couple weeks left. But if not this year, then next year. or knowing me, the year after that, or the year after that, or the year after that, or the year after that. I'm trying to get better. We're going to start tackling a lot of projects over the winter.